First home buyers, this one's for you. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the SMSF Diaries. It's not so much an SMSF related video this week, but more one aimed at first home buyers and more importantly the First Home Super Saver Scheme, which comes into effect from the 1st of July. As the name suggests, is a scheme where you can access some of your superannuation to help first home buyers fund the purchase of their house. So the idea behind the scheme is that the first home buyer puts some voluntary money into their super fund. It doesn't matter what super fund you're using. So put some voluntary money into your super fund, can either be pre or post tax contributions. So to be eligible to use this scheme, you need to be over the age of 18, have never had an interest in any residential property in Australia, and have never had any money released from super under this scheme. Now, the contributions you make to super to be part of this scheme have to be over and above whatever your employer is making for you. So that's generally the 9.5% SG contributions that your employer might be making. So what are the benefits of accessing the system? If you're making these voluntary contributions via a salary sacrifice arrangement, you'll generally be about 15% better off than if you had have taken that money as a wage and invested it elsewhere. There's also a deemed earnings rate on this money that you invest now. The current earnings rate on that is about 4.7%. And a little quirk, any money that you contribute to superannuation this current financial year, so you can contribute money in this current 17-18 financial year to then request to have that released in the new financial year. Any money that you put in this financial year is deemed to actually earn a full year's 4.7% interest, even though the money may have only been in your super fund for a couple of months by that stage. This is the only year that that works. Any money that's contributed to super as part of this scheme from the 18-19 financial year onwards, there's a time weighting based on how many months that money has been invested in a super fund. The longer it's been in there, the closer you get to that full year's return. But this financial year in particular, the 17-18 financial year, there's a bit of a quirk in the system that you actually get credited with a full year's worth of interest, even though the money may have only been in your super fund for a matter of days or months. If you're making these contributions to superannuation of an after-tax nature, you can still be better off. So for low-income earners, there's things like a co-contribution and some other incentives for low-income earners to make contributions to super. Unfortunately, those extra incentives don't get released from the super from your super fund under this scheme. They do stay in your super fund to help boost and fund your retirement savings, so you're not actually worse off. So there can be some benefit for lower income earners to actually look at making voluntary post-tax contributions than rather salary sacrifice. It's all going to depend on what your income is, and I recommend that you seek advice so that you're using this system to the best of your ability. Now, if you want any further information on this, please don't hesitate to reach out. The government's actually also put together quite an interesting website, quite a good website resource in relation to this. You can plug in your income and savings and it'll forecast how much better off you may actually be using this scheme to save for a house deposit than you would be saving in cash or term deposits. So I'll provide a link to that in the below of the video. But as I said, if you do have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for another update. Thank you.